So hi, this is Charles, and today I'm going to present you guys discriminations in workshops and its effects. Let's first look at the discrimination introduction and its background. So discrimination is never new to the American people, which its history can be traced back to the social bondage from the 1600s. From then, an unfair and prejudiced treatment of different people, especially on race, sex, and background, has been developed and learned. So discrimination simply means weighing other people or a certain group differently than yours. Discrimination at workshops include gender discrimination, such as man over woman, racial discrimination, such as black over white, and education discrimination, such as higher level education over lower level of education. We can give an example of education discrimination by bachelor degree over high school degree. I put this lovely picture over here because I want everyone to be justice at workshops. From here, we can tell there are different race. So we have Black, we have Mexico, so the brown skin. We have both man and woman as their gender. We have disability people, and maybe we have religious. Now, let's first talk about the gender gap. So the gender gap refers to the man and woman differentiations. The female participation rate raises to the issue of a selection bias. What is selection bias? Selection bias refers to any selecting based on the bias or the discrimination someone has. The discriminatory practice in the social urge women to face some degree of barriers to entry into the employment market. And by statistical discrimination data, it is rooted in the belief of gender differences and abilities, and the taste based on bias. There are always the suggestion that man would stay strong and work more and is more capable than women. And this thought brought to many workshops in the fear of discrimination at women. Now, 78 cents is paid to women for $1 paid to men, which you can tell is very different. And because of this, women may face some kind of torture or other kind of unfairness at home because they learn less money than their husband. According to the research, gender gap is driven by the cumulative impact of many instances over women's lives when they are treated differently than male peers. And as I mentioned, this is from workshops and this can lead to home. Gender wage gap affects women daily by suppressing their wages and challenging them to balance work and family. Now, let's move on to the race gap. So the race gap refers to the difference between the white people and the Black people especially. Now, let me give you some data first. African Americans continue to face poverty, which there are 18.7% of African Americans are under poverty. Moreover, African American children are 3 times likely to be in poverty than white children. Black people are paid 87 cents to every $1 paid to white, even doing the same job. Low payment jobs are more over to the Black people and high payments jobs are more over to the white. And this is just because of the discriminations. White people hold higher positions at workshops and lower positions are normally held by the Black people. Now, there is also a research suggests that even with the same experience, education background, and even if doing the same job in the same geographic location, it also results that a Black person earns 98 cents for every $1 given to the white. Now, this is just a comparison between the Black man and white man. The wage gap is larger between Black woman and white woman. Now, for the last step, let's go to the education gap. So the education gap refers to the difference level of the education background someone has. For example, I can give a bachelor degree more money over a high school degree, but we are doing the same job. Now, there is always barriers to position and opportunity differences to lower education people. One of the example can be given failing someone because he does not hold a college graduate degree, just to suggest the unfair treatment and discrimination in recruiting. High school education level employees also outnumber the lower education level employees on executive positions. Now, I have three hypotheses. Workplace discrimination is reducing the quality of life of the US family. The US government issued policies against workplace discrimination has not been efficiently working well. Workplace discrimination comes from prejudice from the long time ago and is very hard to be removed. Now, all three hypotheses come to the end and a conclusion of poverty. Here is my reference 1, and here is my reference 2. In the end, I also want to give my own conclusion that discrimination in the workplace has been in legally defining workers signing their salaries based on subjectively and forcing the workers to admit and keep silent.